welcome back to my channel. I haven't been able to do so many videos lately, so apologies for that, just because life has been pretty stressful at the moment, with the worsening of OCD and just lots of horrible intrusive thoughts and anxieties which I'm having to deal with, so it's been quite hard to fit in videos, but I want to do one because I want to carry on doing them, obviously. It's just been quite hard lately. Hopefully I'm getting my COVID vaccine soon. I've been assured I am getting a home visit, but it's just waiting for it, which would be my 5th one, because of my OCD. The doctor has allowed me to have that. It's just having, I don't know when it's going to be though. I'm waiting, but I've been told it should be within the next month, or less than a month now. It just seems to be taking a long time. I really hope that once I've had it, it will enable me to see my dad again, because I think a lot of the reason why my OCD is so bad at the moment is because of the feeling of powerlessness, and being stuck at home is not really very psychologically healthy, and it's just affecting my brain quite a lot, which is really difficult. I am very trying my hardest to push on and not stop, to keep on as much as I can, following my usual routines and so on. I'm a fighter. I'm not going to give in to the OCD completely, because that's not in my character. I am a fighter, because if I essentially it's like an illness, if you let it take over completely, then it's a path of no return. I'm not going to do that, but it is very, very, very stressful having to constantly fight it, and yeah, a lot of the time I'm just like, I just want to go back to bed, it's too hard. But I carry on. It's just so hard though. OCD is horrible. It's just constant anxiety. You just have to keep on facing it. So, which I am. It's just very hard. So, that's part of the reason why I haven't been doing so many videos lately. But like I said, fear not, I will keep on doing the videos, but you might not see as many. They might not be as frequent at the moment. Yeah. Also, a group I go to, a local advocacy group, Asperger's Syndrome Self-Advocacy Group. We've recently got the news, not really very surprising if you ask me, but still not nice, that their group has recently going to be cut, because it receives funding from the council, and for purely financial reasons, they've decided to cut the group. Now, obviously, we are going to fight that decision, and hope them think twice. We might be able to persuade them not to cut the group, but that's what we've been told, without actually being given enough time really to fight it. Which seems very, very wrong. But they haven't given us enough time to fight for decision, basically, and it also feels like they've been rather deceptive, because they assured us not that long ago that we had enough money, and they also said that they would give us about 6 months, at least 6 months notice. Well, they've given us significantly less than 6 months notice, and they've also moved the local Autism Partnership Board date, which seems very fishy, because it looks like they don't want this to be discussed at that meeting, so they've moved the date as well. So yeah, it all looks very fishy if you ask me. So that's stressful as well, so we have to hope that we can persuade them not to cut the group, because it's the only peer support group that many autistic people have in the area. So that's rather depressing. Anyway, but I don't want this video just to be all about depressing stuff. I've been very interested in Ladybird books lately, and collecting Ladybird books. I've got loads and loads and loads and loads of them now, like piles of them. Mainly the old vintage ones, like the traditional ones. But I did get this book as well, which is basically a Ladybird spoof, and it's called We Do Lockdown. And it's basically a dung beetle reading scheme, which is a ladybird spoof, so it's like parodying the Ladybird series, parodying the keywords weeding scheme, Ladybird books of the 60s and 70s for Peter and Jane books, as they're known. 2A, we do Lockdown. It's quite funny. Written and illustrated by Miriam Elia. She's done a number of these spoof books. So I just thought I'd read it to you. So I think it's quite a funny book. It says on the first page, it says, "Caution, please read this book at a safe distance of 2 metres to ensure no contamination of COVID-19 occurs. Failure to comply will result in a £10,000 fine." Have you seen someone reading this book without distancing from the pages? Report them to the authorities for immediate abuse. Dung beetle learning. What is a child beyond a carrier of germs and disease? How does one best structure and mould their vulnerable little minds after COVID-19? The answer is simple. All your family needs is this dung beetle guide, a large vat of bleach, and 24-hour exposure to media channels that broadcast death, disease, and uncertainty into the comfort of your home. In Book 2A of the latest Dung Beetle Guide, Mummy, Susan and John go through an indefinite period of self-isolation at home. During lockdown, the children will adapt to the new normal, where they have no real friends, no purpose, and most importantly, no education beyond this book. They will come to understand that a better world will only come when we bleach and destroy everything natural and let fear control us. The primary aim of Series 2 sees an emphasis on 5 areas of your child's development. 1. Safety, to become so risk-aware that they stop doing anything. That's basically my life. You have to laugh. It's, self-deprecating humour, but it is true, it's my life. 2. Control, that we can control nature and not the other way round. 3. Caring, the kindest way to care is to cut yourself off from all humanity. 4. Entrusting, placing all of our freedom, without question, with scientists and politicians who are advanced superior beings. And 5. Good intentions basically justify anything. Mummy has sealed us indoors. Coronavirus will kill us all, says Mummy. But you said that about climate change last week, says John. New words: hazard, tape, chaos. Scientists predict this virus is going to kill most of the population, says Mummy. How do they know that, says Susan. Because they're scared of what they don't know. Never question science. Mummy can't get a delivery slot. I would have to risk my life to go to the supermarket, says Mummy. Risk averse agoraphobia. We are shopping for emergency supplies. There is no lemongrass, says Mummy. Oh dear, says John. I'm starting to understand what life was like in World War II, says Mummy. Exotic food shortage. The government have shut the church. I'm glad the church is shut, says Mummy. Why? asked John. They use fear and guilt to control people. Do as you're told. Okay, it's going to move over to video number 2 to carry on. So we go to video number 2 now.